tonight. Hold on, I'm broadcasting though.
In 30 minutes, Seth, you can't go outside, okay?
And the 8 o'clock thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to go on a walk too.
No, it's not 8 o'clock.
You know, the thing I hear now is all about snitching. Don't let nobody catch me. Hey, there's a guy outside.
Our neighbor is a cop, and he's mad at us right now. So he's mad over to
Wait, hold on. We can talk about that when we get live too. Foolishness. All right, and I'm almost there. I mean, certified.
Oh, you can't get us your head down, can you?
Oh no!
Can't get the dance out of my head.
There's so many different versions of it, like the food one. Like, man, TikTok be getting on my nerves.
Oh yo.
Oh, dang! I'm in the wrong one.
My dude. Oh, what the heck?
Come on.
Yo, that show is fire too. Control V. Darn it. Why does this thing don't want to work now?
Well, Netflix just banging out show. Bro.
Why am I doing that?
All right. What do we say?
Oh, here it
Well, the
goes.
second one,
And we're going live. And now.
Let go live.
Okay.
Just turn on the TV.
Beep, beep.
Let go live.
Yo. All right, y'all. So, seriously though, this.
Oh, I didn't realize that it had a counter.
So what had a counter?
Facebook.
The podcast.
Yeah. So about this curfew though. So what? Just recently started the curfew, right? So you got to be in the house at 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
Yeah, 10 o'clock. 10 to 5 a.m.
I was about to go on a walk, but that ain't happening.
10 o'clock.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna go on a walk at 10 o'clock though.
You can still go on a walk. You just got to be in the house before 10.
That's you.
Bless you.
That's you.
No bull crap.
Yeah, but you know what, the whole curfew thing, I unfortunately do not care to always watch the news, so I always hear everything secondhand because I'm tired.
You be outside the wrong time, and then you gonna find out.
I'm gonna be outside at 10 o'clock anyway. I barely want to be outside at 7:30. Like, I want to be in the house. All right.
Okay, so here's my issue with this whole curfew thing. It's like when the COVID thing first started and they was closing everything at 11 p.m. I'm like, bro, you're not stopping the spread at 11 p.m. Who's out at this time during the weekday? I'm like, bro, this defeats the whole purpose. Hey, let's shut down everything at 10 o'clock p.m. so they don't spread it around. I'm like, bro, I'm sleep. I'm spreading it if I'm asleep at this time.
But
like, you need to fix more stuff during the day.
You're asleep, but there's a lot of people who aren't asleep and they're out during the night trying to find somebody because they're like, oh, I'm gonna go find my boo. So they be out creeping in the night.
Right. No, so they're trying to protect.
Mingling,
they're trying to protect all the creepy callers.
All up in the face.
Okay.
Coming out at night, all the freaks.
We're
protecting all the freaks.
Right.
Come out at night. We don't want them to catch COVID because they're freaks. So they
Stop it.
They all over here. They try to get that little call, you know. So like, all right, so.
Because like, I halfway agree with you, AJ, but then there's like this other side of it where if you think about it, especially right now, it's been colder in the evening. It's about like, 30-something
48.
degrees. 48. It's been 39 degrees in the evening. And they said that COVID typically spreads when it's colder. So in the daytime, it's warmer. Yeah, it's windy or whatever, but it's warmer. And there's not like, people are at work. They do what they do. At night, when you think about nightlife, people go out. They're all up in each other's faces. It's cold, so it's already a breeding ground. So you have a whole bunch of people in one space, all up in each other's faces, or eating food with their masks off. And now all of a sudden, everybody and their uncle done caught COVID because they decided they wanted to be out.
But okay, I get that. I understand that. But here's my rebuttal to that. What's open? Like we went out, it was 3 spots open. Look, when we went out, it was 3 spots
right
open.
Now, AJ, hold on a second. You can't say because right now you and Mariah are in a club right now with those lights in the background. So y'all better get your bus home because it is 7:31, and you got.
Look, I had to turn my extra room into the club, like just so I can have fun. Okay.
Okay. So look, we went downtown on Saturday too. Like we just walked around real quick. When I tell you, it was packed. Like it was stupid. I was sitting around. I was like, everything was legitimately packed. Like when we went, there was like 5 people, right?
With that's
the next night.
So now that comes back to this. Okay, so Seth, why you couldn't wait until this week, this past Saturday, so this party? You wait till
because I'm smart, so I don't want to be around a bunch of other people. Like I just want to
I get it. It's like
if I were to have caught COVID around y'all, I wouldn't know who to freaking call and be like, yo, what the heck? You know what I'm saying? I would have been on somebody's butt. I was like, yo, hey.
I'm singling. Oh, yo.
I mean, I get it.
But just for listeners, we were being careful though. We all had our masks on, whatever. We were not all over each other, nothing like that. So
yeah, those people.
Yeah, but now it's done spiked. So, yeah,
we couldn't even dance.
Wait, look. So anyway, we about to get it on and popping because that's what we do. I hope y'all enjoyed this little interlude. Arizona curfew.
Mercy.
What? Like literally, it can't get any better than that. Maybe it can. I don't know.
I'm still thinking about this movie Songbird or whatever it is, talking about COVID-23, but we ain't gonna talk about it. We ain't gonna talk about it.
Heck no.
Oh Lord. Okay. Well, on that note,
keep that to yourself.
On that note,
you know, presumptuous TV.
I'm not religious no more. I'm off the cuff. Off to learn new things. I'm on a bus. Walking to my dreams in a tux. Everywhere I go is kingdom come. Dad gum. My inheritance so long that it causes conundrums. Wanna understand what I stand on. Yo, it's a brain blast. Jimmy Neutron. Yeah. Don't need a mic to drop it. Don't need the space to rock it. Don't gotta click to copy. I got it. They call me a pastor prophet. A prophet. I can't knock it. I can't stop it.
Yeah.
And I'm single. Tonight I'm single. And I ain't sipping on nothing. I'm tripping on something. And my homeboy say he got a nice chick for me tonight. One taught me love. One taught me patience. One taught me pain. And now I'm amazing. I love that I've lost. But that's not what I see. Look what I got. Look what you taught me. Thank you. Next. Thank you. Next. Thank you. Next. I'm so grateful for my ex. And that was being successfully single. The playlist. What's good? It's the Smoothments. It's the creatives. And we back again. And today our topic, as you can guess, is about being single, but successfully single. So, it's your boy Jay the Chef. We got Mimi, Coach Me, Self Music, and Camille. We keep it real. So with no further ado, Coach Me, it's up to you.
Look, you may end up single if you don't stop. Mariah looked like she about to disown you.
So like, you know what? That's about it. I think this whole podcast is a song.
And that was it.
And we're on.
So we just want to thank y'all for tuning in with us this evening for today's episode of Successfully Single. I know you're probably wondering what being successfully single looks like, and guess what? We are definitely going to tell you.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
Pause for dramatic effect. Now. So, obviously, we have some takeaways for tonight. So tonight, we definitely want you to leave here understanding that you can be single and it's okay. That having self-confidence is the best thing you could ever do for yourself. And more than anything, Like, you don't have to fall for the hype of relationships just because everybody else is in one. Like, you can be single and be thebomb.com. So, Camille, go ahead and shed some light with them stats for us, girl.
She was like, "Oh, you're gonna start with me because X amount of reasons."
Because I'm the single one. So what's up, y'all? So first, I'm just gonna bring y'all just a little bit of statistics, right, about the singleness in America. So, alarmingly, in 1960, 7 million people were single in America. It jumped to 36 million single people in America. The population living with at least one other person hasn't even doubled since then. The share of people living alone has increased. They were sitting at 3.8 of the population in 1960, but in 2019, it went up to 11.1%. We out here. Okay, so there's no excuse for y'all to talk about, I don't see nobody for me. I don't know. There's definitely 11.1% for you to date out there. Yo, 1% person is waiting for you. But real talk, successfully single, I don't necessarily feel so successful in my singleness. But I will tell you that being single has its perks. Okay? So I don't necessarily have to report to anybody. I can still build on myself without having to consider another person. I can go and come as I please. I do not have children. I do not have any of these things. Right, exactly. Perks of being single.
I don't know you can even do that.
I can stop at I can stop at TJ Maxx and be there for 3 hours without no one calling me. Okay.
What?
So
I don't know if it'll be at TJ Maxx, but I'll be somewhere. I don't know.
But real talk, I feel like being single, I've been in relationships before, and I think that being in relationships is healthy for a person. But I think that it comes to a point in your life, I'm 35, so it comes to a point in your life where you're like, slow down, hold up. Do I want this? Do I not want this? Do I need this? Do I not need this? And you start to really exclude the option of everyone, and you start getting into a place where you literally are making more sound decisions. But most of all, I get to say, dating makes you realize who you are. Okay. Because dating people, and not being in actual relationships, but dating people gets to make you feel like, whoa, I get too angry about that, or whoa, I don't feel comfortable with this, or I love that, bring it on, or however. But I feel like it puts you in a place to really work and fix those imperfections, those flaws that will cause you to be really unflexible in a relationship. Now, when you're single and you get into a relationship, there's some cons to it. Now, all of those things that you were accustomed to before, now you have to get adjusted to in a relationship. So it's like, once you get in a relationship, the adjustment of like, oh, this person wants to know where I'm at. And you have to start considering those things. And that's the hardest thing for a single person. The hardest thing of a single person is to come up out of that comfortability of being single. So that's my little Jones right there for a moment.
So I got a question for you right now. Okay, we're about to jump into this, Camille. You ready?
Come on, let's do it.
Okay, so you said that you don't consider yourself a successful single person. Why is that?
Because honestly, the lack of discernment that I've used with the people that I've dated.
Okay.
And so I think that for me, although I may talk to people, I only choose to date really one person at a time, right? So when I choose to like date someone, then the people that I talk to subside. And I think that because in the past, I feel like I go, okay, we talk the same language. I'll get into this thing called chemistry, right? And what I've learned more and more about chemistry, I've already known this though, is that chemistry, when you have chemistry with someone, you can have chemistry with anyone. You can have chemistry with the person at Starbucks. You can have chemistry with your next door neighbor. You can have chemistry even maybe with your dog. I don't know. Either way it goes.
I'm sorry.
Chemistry is something that's inevitable between a male and a female, or a female. Like, I can have chemistry with one of my friends. We're not tapping, but it's life, right? Love is love. But at the end of the day, I can have chemistry with a person that I sat next to on a bus. Could be someone, grandmother, auntie, friend. Like, but usually in the bounds of chemistry, people automatically go, oh, because this feels close. Oh, because this feels like we just kicking it off, hitting it off. Well, because your spirit, obviously you're a being and they're a being too. So naturally, some people are going to send off those like weird weird vibes, and other people will have something that connects with you.
Right. So what you're saying is that don't get too hyped just because you got chemistry with somebody.
No,
right?
Please don't. And I think that that's what I'm learning more and more is like, yeah, but now you guys have chemistry, but do y'all really talk the same language? Do y'all really speak the same love language? Do you guys really speak future? Do you guys speak all of those things, those dynamics? Because I can feel you on this level, but there's so much past this level that needs to happen. And once you start getting into these relationships or dating situationships, you start to realize like, bro, you're not the one.
So
you ain't it.
Yeah, so I feel that because like, so I'm good with people. So in a sense, I have a lot of good chemistry with people, whatever. Even when there's like barely any chemistry with somebody that I just met or whatever, like I can pinpoint where I can connect, right? And so, but that's got me into a lot of trouble, especially when I was single. Like, excuse me, I can't tell you how many times girls have gotten mad at me because they thought that I was trying to attempt something with them when I was just literally just being like nice. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, because like I've gotten so many texts, man, like so many calls, like, so I'm just really confused because you were like super nice to me, and like I feel like you were like, you know, trying to hit me up or whatever, and then like you didn't do nothing about it. I was like, you mean when I opened the door for you? Like, is that like all I did? You know, and so it is like, but yeah, so like definitely like people get caught up with the chemistry, like that's what they think that's all it takes. Although chemistry is super important for somebody they trying to get married to, because if you got no chemistry with the person that you're marrying, then that's just like, why? Why though?
Right.
Because like that sounds like a boring relationship. So I definitely feel that.
So like, I guess this topic is super hot because the comments are like coming in real quick.
Right? I was like, oh.
I look too like, wait.
So we actually have a question. Daniel Rivera, he's been chiming in a lot. So he asked, he said, can a man lead a woman to Christ for the first time in her life and make a successful relationship?
As long as you don't look at that person like a project, you should be okay. That's what I did. That blew in my face like a mug, you know. But like as long as like, you know, you just remember that it's delicate though. Like if you're like trying to help someone like get closer to the Lord, but at the same time have to get closer to you, it can get real convoluted real quick, because it's like you have to really be intentional about every step that you're making, because it's like you can so easily do something in the name of the Lord, but really you don't even realize it, but it's really in the name of yourself. So what happened with me, long story short, is that like I was at first I was like a good this person, but then we got involved, and like I was trying to help her out of her situation, but at the same time I was trying to help my situation, because I was like, yo, I actually like really like this person, whatever. And so like I said, it's just like I would say for most part try to keep that stuff separate, you know, like, and if anything, just be friends with that person for a long amount of time first, you know, and just of course like take some direction from people who have been in that situation, because that can get real convoluted. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with that, because it's like
It's not impossible.
Like the me and Mariah is like, I knew of God, but I really didn't get close to. I wasn't really close with God like that. So, but because me and her was already together, it's like she was trying to bring me closer to God. So it's like it depends, but she kept it separate. Like that's what you always want to do. Like Seth said, you want to definitely keep them separate, because if you want her to get closer to God, but you also want to build a relationship with her, you want to make sure that both are separate. They're not coinciding with each other. Because say for instance, like you want her to be able to get closer to God, but if she's down a path or whatever, now at the moment she is not seeing herself getting really close to God. And if that's something that hinders you, like, okay, I can't get with her. So then now it's like, what you're gonna do now is all falls on you. What's your next step? Are you just gonna stick with her to help her try to figure out that path? Or say, okay, well, since you don't want to get close to God, then I don't want to talk to you. So it's like you want to make sure they're separate. So if you want to, all right, do you want to help her with God and build a relationship with her? And if either one don't work out, will that deter you from doing that? Because bringing her to God, it's a good thing, but at the same time, you don't want to get off that vibe that you're only doing this for another reason as well.
It's pressure, man. That's pressure.
Yeah.
I think part of that too is like, so there's like two sides of it, because what you guys are saying is like 100%, but then there's the other side of it is like, okay, so what is my intention of talking to this person? Am I talking to this person because I want to be with this person, or am I talking to this person because I truly know that they need, like, I want to help them grow and build a relationship with God? Like, why am I truly talking to this person? Because if your intentions with somebody are wrong from the beginning, it's not going to work, and you're going to find yourself spiraling down this rabbit hole of, oh, well, I was saying that I wanted to help her get closer to God, but in reality, your intentions were you was trying to get with her. And so now you done intermingled, as we were talking about, you done intermingled something that wasn't supposed to be intermingled. On another side of that, the Bible also talks about in 2 Corinthians 6:14 about being unequally yoked. And so it's like, if you clearly know that somebody is not for you, don't try and pursue something that's not for you, or try to fix something that's not for you. So when somebody is for you, God will make sure he will put that person in your life. Because again, me and him, we was in a hot mess situation, but then at the time, it was like, it was still on that level where we were still on the same level. So we were able to move forward. But prior to that, I was talking to somebody who didn't necessarily have a relationship, but said they had one because they wanted to be with me, but we was unequally yoked. Mm-hmm. And so then we're running into all these issues and situationships, and that ended completely sour. So I think it's just important to know your intentions, why you're doing it, and really listen to God if it's something that you're supposed to pursue, or if you're just supposed to be in that person's life for a reason.
Yeah, and this is the last thing I'm gonna say on this topic, because I can get lost in this one really easy. And it's kind of similar to what Aaron just said. Like, oh no, not Aaron. It was Daniel. Like, after that whole relationship, I realized that I was more infatuated with the person that she could become in God versus the person that she was at that moment. Now, the difference between that is that God loves us in terms of where we are at that very moment, in all moments. You know what I'm saying? Like, God loves you. You know what I'm saying? But I was infatuated with the person that she could become in God. And so because of that, when like I was stressing out when like she wouldn't do the things that she needed to do as far as like being like a Christian or whatever, like I was putting unnecessary pressure on her. What I should have done, like I said before, is just been a friend, be separate from that, and because you can actually rob somebody from their really precious moments of that initial relationship with God. You can get in the way of that. And so it's like I needed to give her time to grow and to mature in her faith, in her new faith like that or whatever, because the reality is that the more mature someone gets in God, whatever, they actually might realize that they don't want you either. You know what I'm saying? Like, it can flip, but you have to give them an opportunity to not worry about both relationships at the time. Let them worry about the most important relationship, which is between them and God. Let them worry about that first, and then if you really the one, then then you'll still be around for that. Like Adrian was saying, like if you ain't the one, then just let that mug go. Right. But it's a beautiful process, though. Seeing someone come into a relationship with God, it's a beautiful thing. And sometimes girls and dudes and women can get infatuated with that aspect, but not so much about who they are at that moment. So yeah.
Man, all of that. Okay.
Open. Let's go.
Man, no, real talk though, because when like Mishi was saying about having even yokes. Now, me being in a relationship or walking towards relationships before I actually received Christ into my heart and in my mind and into my spirit is two different, totally different things. I found myself when I'm still single. When I wasn't single in Christ, it was totally different because I was trying to fit people into the dynamic of which I was already in my mind pursuing the change. So when I tried to fit people into that dynamic, what happened to me is I would then be frustrated because they didn't meet this call of my husband and they weren't meant to be that in the first place. And so that's why I say I don't think I've been successfully single, because at the end of the day, I myself walking into it had that expectation that this is what I was supposed to be, what they were supposed to be, according to what it is that I saw, what I heard, and what I was learning myself. It's two totally different things when you decide that, okay, Joe Schmo from around the way, right? I like him. He represents the things that I like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, the enemy will always put something that you like or love in the midst. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, period. So at the end of the day, you have to walk it out. And it's a learning process. It's a big learning process. It takes big fails for the victories to happen. Now, that's why for me, from those times, walking, having hurts, having pains, having woes, having understandings about where I'm at. That's the positive thing about dating, but you must not get it confused, is that one, we are not God. If you're going to date someone who does not have Christ in their life, cool. But understand what that does to what's already inside of you, what your expectation is for your outcome, because they may not see it the way. You're going to take all of your energy trying to change them out of the in the dynamics.
Exhausting, man.
That it's exhausting because they're not called to be, they're not called to your relationship at that moment. You know what I'm saying? Like it is it's very crucial at times though. It's crucial at times because that one person that you're trying to call to God and do the work of God can literally catapult you all the way back to where you're currently at. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard. It's hard to try to bring someone in that does not have the understanding of at least who God is or what he represents in your life and in the place that you are right now. It's very hard. So you have to let God be God. If you say, okay, let's stay friends, but this is who I am, this is what I do. And if you want to bring them with you, let then God do the work on them. And if God speaks to the person about, if as a man, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. Women, you are the good thing. And I know that I'm the good thing. I'm learning to be the good thing before he figures it out.
Be the good thing. Or should we say the good thing? That was
the good thing. But real talk though, like I've tried that, trying to fit the dynamics too different, you get frustrated. Then that person brings you out of the element of what you're trying to walk towards. And anytime you walking towards something, yeah, there's gonna be bumps and bruises and all that kind of stuff, but you cannot jeopardize, man, trust me. I just went through it. Okay. You just cannot allow someone to come in and take you out of something that God has put you in. And you've worked so hard to be there. Because this is blood, sweat, and tears.
Say that one more time for the people in the back.
You cannot let someone come in and take something that you work so hard to get to. Real talk. Because at the end of the day, This walk is not easy. It's blood, it's sweat, and it's tears. But at the end of the day, there's a purpose. There's someone always there. There's someone that God created for us. Dating people is fine, but that's how you end up walking towards the person you're supposed to be with. Is because each of those experiences drop off an old thing, because you're always going to learn. And in that way, when you present, when yourself is your new self, your whole self is presented with the other person that's supposed to be with, you're supposed to be with,
Yeah.
then
So
that's
yeah. So like
that's successfully single.
right.
There you go.
What you just said right now, like really hit me hard because I was like, so when I was single, I would for the most part say I was successfully single. Now the opposite of that is single and sloppy, you know. But we'll get into that in a second.
Still using the term.
So the only reason why I consider myself a little bit more successful is because I wasn't really tripping about it. You know, like I was focused on developing who I was. You know, I was my goal was to get married and to like date one chick and get married. Now that's hard. I was close. I only dated one other girl and then I found Misha. So I was like, okay, cool. So I was close to my goal. But the cool thing about it is that I've set a standard, especially for my son, you know, or any future kids that we have or whatever, or people just around me, you know, like that it is possible to not just be single, but to be like chilling in it, you know, like to be successful with it. Because like I didn't, you know, like in previous podcasts, some of you guys may have heard that, like, so I fought so hard, kind of like what you were talking about. Like I really fought hard to keep my sexual purity. And that was not easy at all, especially when I'm traveling around, going to concerts all around the country. That was not easy, being around a bunch of people, whatever. And it just even with my personality, like I said, with all that chemistry, like I looked for chemistry in people like all the time. And so anyway, but when I dated my first girlfriend, I forfeited that special thing. You know, I let go of like one of the things I worked so hard for, as far as like my sexual purity. Like I let go of it before we got married, and we never got married. And so I'm over here like, dang, like I'm really dropping the ball on like all of my emotional success that I had so much more confidence in myself before I let go of my sexual purity, to this girl. Like I realized like it wasn't even just so much about like the act, whatever. It was more about my emotions. You know, like my emotions were jacked after that. Like literally, like I felt like I lost a huge part of me. And it wasn't even so much like all the surface stuff. It was just the fact that I worked so hard for it. You know what I mean? Like and so like I feel like if you feel like you have to like get rid of like some of your most important parts about you when you're dating somebody, that's not being successfully single. That's just being kind of sloppy. You know, like it's like, no, man, like you don't have to
sloppy single?
because like this is the thing. We're not married yet. You know what I'm saying? Like I haven't made that oath to like give you everything yet. Being single and successful is being like, okay, I'll give you a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but you ain't getting the whole thing though. Like, not, like, hold on, like we're me and you. Even, like, here's the way I look at it. You can be dating somebody, but you're still single. That's the way I look at it. It's like until you make that oath to get married, you're still single, because dating is just kind of like, it's like a waiting room. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of like a practice zone. Like you ain't really on the airplane yet. You're just kind of in the, you know, like you're just kind of checking in and kind of seeing like if you really want to get on this ride for real. And so, and so it's just like, I don't know, like, but when I lost that part, or I say lost, but when I gave that part of myself that I was trying to keep so much for my wife, and I was even saying specifically for Mishi, like when I gave it away, I was like, dang, like why did I do that? Like, because you know what it was, because, and I'm gonna be done after this, but like what it was just like I was trying to solidify my place in her life. You know, like I was trying to make my mark. I was trying to make my stamp. I was trying to do all this stuff, but that's why it's so important that you do those type of big things when you're married, because it's like you made an oath. You know, now obviously marriages don't always last, but at least like if you made those big decisions with people that you're already married with, at least you were married to the Joker. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least you made an oath. You know, like it wasn't just like some random dude off the street or some random girl off the street. Like at least you had, you know, that oath, whatever. But anyway, so I want to hear a little bit more from the shares.
Hold on, I need to.
But go
I
ahead.
just want to
go ahead.
something you said real quick, because you had said, so when you were talking and you were like, if you're not married, you know, then you're single, pretty much. And so it's like, you know, that waiting room. And I thought that was really huge. But I also wanted to say to that is that just because you're single don't mean you need to be trying to talk to everybody either. Mm-hmm. So if you decide that you want to date somebody, date that person. But don't be like, oh, I'm single, so I'm gonna just go like, I'm gonna talk to everybody, and we feel like trying to be exclusive. Like, no, if you're gonna be exclusive with somebody, be exclusive. But realize that commitment of giving yourself fully to someone should not come until you guys have gone to the altar before God and said, I do. Because at that moment, then you can go behind the veil. Okay. Yeah. Now, sure.
Can I just, well, before we get there, sorry, y'all, because it just popped in my spirit, literally. I just realized that in the time where you was talking to 3-4 people at a time, it's like, it distorts your vision. That's all I'm going to say. Go ahead.
First of all, okay, so what I'm going to say is, first of all, when I was single, I wasn't single and sloppy self, okay? I don't like that term, okay? So what I'm going to say is going to be, I was single and on vacation, okay? Not single and sloppy, single and on vacation, okay? That's a better sounding than that, okay? We ain't gonna disrespect all the people out there that is having fun. No, they single and on vacation.
Just, you know, okay? We're some light.
Okay, yeah, we shed a light. Okay, I see it. I'm on the other side now. I see it. But you know, at first, this is like we taking the slide out. No, I was there. I was on the other side. Okay, it was single and on vacation. But what I will say is like seeing what y'all saying and like seeing y'all on point of visual like was single and successful and single and vacation. I definitely see that point because at that point when I was on vacation, I was just trying to have fun. I wasn't focused on me, building myself up on what I need to do to be ready for a relationship. Like, because granted, now we got married when we was like 20, 21. So we really ain't doing it. I just got out of high school. So single, looking for somebody. I'm not even looking for a marriage right out of high school. I'm looking to be young. So I didn't have that much time. So, but looking at it, if I did say we did have that opportunity to work on actually being single and successful, then it could have saved a lot of problems I had in my marriage in the beginning. Like it was saved a lot because a lot of stuff that is small, but in a marriage, small things in a single life versus a small thing in a marriage life are two different things. Something small for you that would have been a problem. Okay, I need to work on this. But in a marriage, it's not just you no more. It's you and the other ones together. Y'all not separate no more. Y'all one. So it's like you was 0.5, they was 0.5. Now y'all became a 1. So it's like your 0.5, your issue you had or whatever, you're a 0.4 now. So you ain't coming with your full half.
Right? Be a whole.
Right. So it's like there are certain things about being successfully single. It's like, for instance, there's certain insecurities you could have been working out on. We were like, okay, this bothers me if I'm like talking to somebody done working on it. Well, you bring it, that's something you could have been addressing when you was single. So when you get married, it might be so now I'm like, okay, now I see the difference between these things that's bothering me. So like when I was during that brief time I had being single when I was younger, it's like the things I see now that I wish I could have worked on instead of being on vacation that I did go to work to be successful on. Now that being through this marriage is like when you're married, there's certain things you can't work on by yourself. It's like there's certain things you almost like you always do everything together, but it's just like it's better having a partner on. It's like you have a partner to help you through certain situations. But
cold nights
on the same thing, there's certain things that
not your cold.
Your partner can't help you with. There's certain things that you have to go through to better yourself for your partner that they can't help you with. And it sucks when you're married because trying to explain, no, it's not like I have anything bad, but like in the beginning, it's like when it's hard to explain that. Like, hey, I need to be alone right now because I gotta work on this and stuff like this. It's like, oh, so now I'm the issue. Like, no, I just not realizing I've been like that. Like, oh, you've been like that. Why wait till now for you to work on it when you could have did on this? So it's like there are certain moments where there's certain points in your life when you're single that you can work on stuff. It's better for you to work on instead of trying to work on it when you get into that exclusive relationship that turns into the marriage. There's certain things it's better to work on when you're single than doing it when you're married. Because when you're married, it's hard to explain that or try to get them to understand where you're coming from, because here you both made an agreement like we're going to be together, we're going to work on things together. Any issues you have, I have, so let's work on it together to resolve it so we can move forward with it. But then there's certain things that's only that you can fix yourself, and trying to get them to understand it is that's not just creating another roadblock that you got to get past just so them to understand what you go through. And then now they was like, okay, I'll let you work on it. So that's my take on that. Here you go.
Nothing wrong with me. I'm just kidding. Okay, so
What?
oh, y'all heard me?
I heard that.
No, I'm just kidding. Like, I really didn't have that sloppy. Yeah, I did.
It's single and vacation, not single and sloppy. Okay? We're gonna put some respect on that side of the single life.
The only reason why I said that is because look, we all know some single people out there who be like really like out there, like, yo, calm the heck down. That's what I'm talking about.
I was out there. I was just quiet about it.
It's like there's people out there who be tripping, man. All right, Mariah, go ahead, girl.
I mean, I was in college. That's when I really just like started experimenting with a lot of stuff. Like I was fresh out of high school. Like I had lost my virginity like the summer after I graduated high school.
Wait, what?
So
I thought it was for me. What?
Uh-oh.
He was kidding, by the way, because he's
What?
just kidding. But no. So when I got to college, like after I started college like that, probably that spring or whatever semester is after like the summer one. So I wasn't. I'll let you talk. You know what? Okay, so I had like my moments. I wasn't really dating anybody. I dated like one person, like an actual relationship with one person in college, but the rest was just like messing around types. But I would say that I don't know. I was kind of working on myself, like when I was in college, like in a way, because like once I met AJ, like I did let go of like the 3 other people that I was talking to.
3?
Again, young, in college.
Yeah.
Anyway, but like there was just some stuff that like I was bougie in college as well. Like there was just some stuff that I just wouldn't even like look at.
Yo, this dude ain't letting you do.
Right. Let her finish.
History again. Where's your history books? Y'all need to go back and learn some. Oh my goodness.
But there was a lot of stuff that I had to learn about myself because I didn't really get the opportunity to experience like dating and talking to other people like that. Like when in high school, you know, like everybody's like dating in high school and stuff. I didn't get that because I was in a strict household. So even talking about liking a boy was a sin. I'm just saying, like I'm being serious. But once I got to college, I started liking boys and it was like all over the campus and stuff. That's when I just threw myself out there. And so as I got a little bit older and I met AJ, that's when I realized, okay, I'm doing a little too much. And so I started coming down slowly. And now it's like if I don't have like any type of connection with you, I can't even look in your direction. Like there's just certain stuff I'm just like, if you can't put a sentence together, I can't I can't even look at you. I'm sorry. Like it's just certain stuff that's just unattractive to me. But yeah, let's just pass it on. So it's just like a learning thing for me. So now a couple of years later,
I'm gonna make this clear. When she talk about me putting sentences together, first of all, I just choose not to because I'm at home. Okay, I don't need to put a sentence together at home.
You over here trying to explain yourself, and she wasn't even talking about you.
What are you talking about? What?
My God. Okay.
Okay.
Whoa.
Throwing shade, okay? I have to let y'all know I catch the shade over here.
No, I wasn't throwing shade. Throwing shade is you talking about your vacation and stuff. It was definitely sloppy, especially those females, but we're not going to talk about that.
First of all,
anyway,
So I have a quick question, real quick though. I have a quick question. So I grew up in a single parent household, right? So my mom didn't have a whole lot of relationships. At least I didn't know, because that, the OGs, they creep
right?
underground, okay? They
Right.
underground. They're Harriets. They're Harriets with it. Yeah. But nevertheless, did growing up in a single household for me was very different on how my outlook on what a relationship was, because I never saw it. You know what I'm saying? I always knew that I wanted to be married, but the impact of having a single parent household made me also feel like I can do everything by myself. You know what I'm saying? And the independence that I had to have in order to be who I was as a young adult or as a child at that time. I knew how to do I knew to wash my own clothes. I knew how to cook by 9, I knew how to make sure I had to take on the daughter domestic role versus the masculine man of the house role. So it's very different. So my outlook on relationships, it's still like a tippy toe where I feel like I don't want anybody to necessarily do anything for me, or, you know what I'm saying? Like that. Like I try my best to let a man be a man, because who wants another man, and they looking for a woman? You know what I'm saying? I had to break out of that. But at the end of the day, how did it impact your singleness? Because I know you guys are married now, but how did it impact your singleness, having a single household, or having a household that you grew up in marriage, etc.?
I have one question to Camilla's question. With your single household, was it a mom or a dad?
It was a mom.
Okay.
Yeah. With a lack of a dad. And that's a whole nother that is a whole that is a whole different ball game when you're a woman growing up in a house with a woman who, sorry mom, I'm not going in on you, just by the way, I'm just being honest for my truth, who was going through her own issues being in a domestic relationship, who then that person left, which is I found out later on, biological dad, mini soap opera. But anyway, but dealing with domestic violence, which equated to depression, I'm sure, some type of internal cry, was present, but not, right? And you have a little girl, now there's an absence of a man, and now there's an absence of a mother and a woman who taught me how to take care of myself, but did not tell me what essentially most women need. You know what I'm saying? That I even had a crown, that I was even worthy to wear my own crown. You know what I'm saying? Like, those dynamics were definitely missing with the dynamic of a missing male, the one that's essentially supposed to protect and guide the woman or the young girl. I think that women who have fathers, initially, I feel like the man is supposed to be like the first love. And usually we repeat or we involve ourselves with men that look like the men that we dealt with or not, or how our mothers showed up in their relationships. That's another thing. So it's a different dynamic for a long time on how I looked at relationships in general as being single. I was unsuccessfully to the max. Like I was, yeah, all the way back there. Like when it comes down to being single, because it was just like I had to, guidance came from the streets, guidance came from people's parents, all sorts of things. So it took me a while to figure out what it is that I actually, and I'm still working on that, what I want and what I need, you know? So, and what I don't want. So, anyway.
I guess I'll hop in here.
I know, I was like, you being quiet. Hey, John, I'm going to be like you in a second. Okay, go ahead.
So, like when it comes to, because I know you asked like what's like having both your parents or whatever, because I guess you just came from the one parent perspective, so I'll come from the two parent perspective. So I have both my parents, and like Mariah, it was a very strict household. No, not allowed to have a boyfriend until you're 30. You know what I mean? But
Look at a guy.
right.
Why are you looking at him for? What?
Me, I think like mine was interesting. Because you would think that, oh, she had both of her parents, so she's looking for some like upright church man, blase, blase, blue. Yeah, right. I think that was something I was trying to avoid because, again, I was raised in church, so that's a solid church boys. And then you realize that church boys, some of them are just a hot mess in general. And then you're like in school and you see like everybody, you falling for the hype because, again, everybody's in relationships. And I'm in middle school, and I remember this couple, they're still married too, by the way. So they were together in like from 6th grade on, you know what I mean? And like rocking hard. And I would see them, and I'm like, dang, I want a relationship like that. So then, I started dating people because I'm like, I'm trying to be in a relationship with somebody from 6th grade to life, but not that doesn't happen. It is rare. And I'm like, kudos. That was crazy. But so for me, it just kind of turned into like, okay, I'm sneaking around trying to have a boyfriend because everybody's in relationships because we in high school and that's what everybody's in. So it's like I was pulled in right away because my parents said I couldn't have it. I wanted it. Not only that, everybody was doing it and I felt left out. So because everybody was doing it, I felt I had to be a part of it. And so again, it just caused me to be in situations with people, giving myself to people who didn't deserve me, not having enough self-love or self-respect for myself or confidence in myself to say, you know what, no, I don't need to do this with you. I want to wait till I'm married to have sex and that's just it. No, I fell into the hype real quick and it was over at that point. Then after that, it was just like, oh, okay, whatever, I guess we're doing this. And so it's like, you're just like, oh, okay, right. You got it now, like no taking it back. So, it's continuously falling into that perpetual cycle of being single, but like wanting to have somebody and then breaking up with somebody. And then you're like, oh, my heart's broken. And then you got dude over here like, oh, I'm gonna come rebound. And then it's like, oh, you're so sweet. Oh, let's do this again. So it's like literally like this failed attempt of trying to be in a relationship when in reality, I just needed to be single. I needed to work on myself. I needed to build my self-confidence. I needed to build my self-respect. More than anything, I needed to have respect for myself, because if I don't have respect for me, then how do I expect anybody else to have respect for me? How do I expect you to treat me right if I don't treat myself right? You're going to treat me the same way I treat myself. And if I treat myself like crap, that's how you're going to treat me. And that's just going to be what it is. And so it's like, after going through all of these things for, I'm going to say like roughly, at least maybe like 10 years of just craziness, because I think I was like 14 when I was in like my first relationship, probably a little bit younger than that, and I am 26 now, so about 10 years.
Baby, you ain't 26. I'm 26.
I'm 28. Sorry, he's 26. I'm tripping.
This woman don't even know how old she is.
I'm tripping. So
I'm like,
anyway,
okay, you lied to
like,
me.
Yeah, I was lying tonight. But so it was more than 10 years. It was, so if I'm 28 now and I was 14, that's like what, 14 years. 14 years. So Well, no, it'd be 12 because I got married 2 years ago. Bang bang. But so you know,
Wait a minute.
You know what I mean? It's like it was 12 years of me dealing with foolishness, and then finally getting to that place where I'm like, okay, like, girl, get your crap together, because I literally kept finding myself in these situationships with people, like literally, like had somebody tell me that they didn't love me after we had been talking like all this time, and I'm sitting here thinking that we had something and we didn't. There's like chemistry piece. We had chemistry, but we didn't have nothing. I thought we had something. And so I'm like, okay, give. And then it's like, I don't care about you like that. So then I'm sitting here all heartbroken and feeling stupid and looking stupid. And so that was my wake up call. It was like, look, you need to get your stuff together. You need to take some time to find you, to love yourself. And when I tell y'all that Bible, Proverbs 31, me and that was like best friends. I studied that scripture day and night, in and out, because I told myself, I said, I want to be somebody's wife. I do not want to be the girlfriend. I do not want to be the situationship. I want to be somebody's wife. And so I set myself up to be what I wanted to be when I was working, when I was single. And so I think,
thanks for that, by the way.
well, you're welcome. And I think that's another big piece, is knowing what you want. Like, you have to know what you want, what your goal is. If your goal is to be single and just be single for the rest of your life, then be the best version of yourself that you can be. Don't try to be intertwined with nobody else, because that's not a part of your goal. Now, if your goal is to be single now and someday be married, then work on that. Work on yourself. Get yourself to that place. Build your self-confidence. Love yourself. And do those things that you need to do to prepare for that person. And again, watch out for the red flags, because people will come as a distraction and you'll be like, oh, it's you. And then the next thing you know, you're sitting here back at square one because your heart's broken, because you done let somebody in that wasn't supposed to be in. So know what you want. Set your boundaries. Boundaries are important. 100%. Set your boundaries. No means no. So
yes means
if
yes.
you have your nose, let your nose be nose, and let your nose be known. Because when your nose aren't known, then how I'm gonna put, if I don't know what you don't want, then I'm not going to know until you tell me. So be real, be upfront if that's what you want. So that's my 10 cents for today.
Yeah, that's good.
So
There's something that you said. I was just like, dang. Actually, you said a lot, but I think the most what I'm getting from you is like, it's just like, so if you make the decision to be single, because like that's the thing. I mean, nowadays, man, this is 2020. Like, marriage is like super not popular now, you know, like, and so like, I know to some people it's like we sound like really old school, but we're still young though. That's the part that trips me out, is that like a lot of this conversation sounds super old school, but it's not, like, you know, but nowadays, man, it's just like people living together, not married, like people like freaking doing it's like people do everything except get married, you know, like you can move in with me, we can have kids together, you know, we can be on the same bank account, we can open up a business together, like all that stuff, except for getting married. And so it's just like, now, but that's the thing, like people nowadays, and we're not gonna get super into this, but people nowadays just look at marriage as just like a contract. It's a business investment.
business deal.
But it's just like, I mean, you know, there's certain things, it's like, because like I would say this, like a relationship is an investment. It may not always be about money or whatever, but it is an investment, because you are investing yourself, you know. But if you invest to freaking 10 people at one time, then you are a viable investment. You're saying, like, you can't expect for people to rely on that when like they know that you be out there like that. But it's just like, I mean, because I can understand it to a certain degree. I think Ada was saying this is like you know, you can have fun, you know, like dating people and like just look at stuff like that, but it's a fine line though, because like that fun can easily switch up in a matter of seconds, man. Like, and so it's like, I remember, and this is the last thing I'm gonna say tonight, but I remember being in middle school, and I was talking to one of my counselors, and like I actually loved her, man. She was really awesome, and like I forgot how we got on the topic, but we were talking about dating, and like I remember so vividly. She was like, so Seth, like, how come you never had a girlfriend? Like I know a lot of girls that would like to date you, and I was like, oh, you know, I just it's not my goal really. Like I just kind of want to date like once or twice and then get married. Like I don't want to do all that extra stuff. And she's like, but you don't want to just like have fun, like like you never kissed a girl, like but like it was weird to me because she was the adult and like I was like, shouldn't you be like my first response, shouldn't you have encouraged?
No, you should have been like, I am having fun. I only want to date 2 people, and that's the most fun I'm ever going to have.
Well, no, because me and you have all kinds of fun. But anyway, no. So like, what I'm trying to say is,
married couples can say that in public.
Because like that's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to get to is that like, yes, being single is different. You could have all the fun that you want to have, right? But when you get married, the fun doesn't have to stop. Like the only thing is that you have someone to have fun with all the time if you choose to live like if you choose to have that type of relationship, because I don't just look at Mishi as just like a money investment. If I did, then like, whatever, like, but we choose to have fun with each other, like we choose to go out, we choose to do stuff that we choose to eat at places we never do, all kind of stuff, like our anniversary is coming up, like. And so, and like, we're trying to plan out what kind of fun we can have. So it's like, it's not like when you get married, you have to die. You know what I'm saying? Like you can have, like, but I understand.
That's the biggest misconception.
I freaking understand it. Because when I was in my apartment by myself when I was single, and I was like, yo, I can literally do what the heck I want all the time. It felt great. But the only difference now is that like, I can still do what I want to a level. But because I love her, I consider her, and vice versa. We consider each other's feelings and desires and wants, whatever. And those places that we have chemistry in, we can vibe on that and have fun in those type of ways. But so yeah. I can stop.
Before we wrap it up, because we've been breaking. We're slowing it down now. So 2 things I wanted to just Daniel was saying that he's in his word a lot, quite a bit, but he still feels lonely, which I can relate to because this thing, trust me, you feel it ain't easy. So Daniel, I really want to encourage you and tell you to really stay strong and keep pressing, because I'm doing the same thing, so it can be done. And I look forward to seeing you come back with a praise report about you finding the person, because you're going to be finding your good thing, but the good thing, hopefully the good thing is also found in you. So I just want to encourage you, tell you keep pressing, because I understand the struggle, my brother. I understand it, okay? It does get a little lonely. You do want to have someone that you can have a level ground and understanding, but that all comes with understanding who we are in Christ. And so look, if Jesus could do it, we could do it too, a little bit, period. Like, but another thing I wanted to say too was the biggest lesson I think being single for me is really guarding my heart. And that is something that is super crucial for anyone who is in that singleship area, okay? And walking towards something is literally guarding your heart, being mindful in your discernment on who you're letting in your space. Protect your space, because technically, even though it's a little lonely up in here, it's a little cloudy and blurred sometimes, it is still your space. And when someone comes and it is intrusive on your space, you feel the difference. You know that thing is not right. You know that what you're sacrificing in order to be in a situationship. You already know those things, but literally protect your heart, protect your spirit, protect your mind, all of that, because that is literally your sanctuary. It's mine, because I will tell you, I can go from 1 to Andre 3000, okay? And that is serious when it comes down to serious though. Hey, yeah, okay? So it's just like, it's a hard task. It's a hard task to keep your boundaries because you just want that warmth. It's a hard task sometimes. But the whole thing is that the more that we invest in God, in the things of God, and keep ourselves as busy as possible on the things that make us happy. Like you lose so much trying to be happy for someone else, and that don't work out. It don't.
The first
So,
step is to know what you want.
Yep.
First step.
period.
You don't know what you want.
Know what you're walking in with. Start asking
Know
them questions. Me, she told me this. Start asking them questions, sis. But real talk, like you gotta start asking the question. And I had this conversation also too prior to this, prior to the conversation I had. Like it's literally one of those things is to, well, did this person match up to what it is that you match up to? And you be like, no, we talked about it, but then they act like they want the same things and all those things. But let me tell you, they can act all they want to, but give them 30 to 90 days. Everything that they said, you'll find out. Everything that they said before will come to light, period. In 60 days, it only takes 21 days to form a habit. What do you think it takes in order for you to figure out who a person is? Flat out. You don't always know who a person is because everyone is always changing. But when it comes down to your relationship and your goals and what you're walking towards, in that, you'll definitely figure out who somebody is. Period.
So, 2 tips, real quick, that I just want to throw out there before we wrap it up for tonight. So, one, if you're single and marriage is a goal for you, write down what it is that you want. Write it down so that way you have something that you can look at and go to, especially if somebody's coming into your life. You can start, okay, does this match up? Write those things way you can have something. Secondly, there is a book that I read that whenever I was single and I was in the process of, praying for my husband or whatever have you. 30 prayers for my future husband or future wife, for whichever one you're going for. But when I tell you, that book just really opened my eyes and it enlightened me in ways that like I would have never thought, because in the process of reading it, it wasn't just me praying for somebody else, but it was me truly for me and preparing my heart and my body for, to be married. And so I think it's just a really important, a great book. It's a great read. And I think it'll definitely help you on your journey to getting to where you want to. So,
and Paola also dropped the book that her and Aaron read before they got married, which is 101 questions to ask, I believe it was, before you actually get engaged. So that is another one. And I know that I've talked to her about that at some point too, and it's really helped. It's a really good helping guide to open your eyes to the hard questions, because in this generation, we don't ask the hard questions. We just don't.
Yeah. And okay, this for real is the last thing I'm gonna say. This is like the last tip I'm gonna throw out there. One of the biggest tips or best piece of advice that I got, and I forgot who even told me this, but they said, when you're looking for the person that you want to be with or the type of relationship that you want in the future, the best thing that you can do is not even worry about the other person. Don't sit there and wonder so much about how you want the other person to be, because that's the expectations, and ain't nobody ever gonna match that ever. So when you get really close, and that might be your person, but don't sit and do that. Be the person that you expect yourself to be while you're in a relationship. Like, go for that person, like yourself. And then when you get to a place where you're happy and confident within yourself, then that will attract the right person. You know what I mean? Like, so like yeah, like beacon. Yes, a beacon for that certain type of person, because that certain type of person will only see that beacon. If that makes sense. And so so it's not so much about worrying about like what the other person might be, is it a good match, all kind of stuff. Like, you be the best person, you be the perfect match. Focus on that. And so that's what I'm gonna say. I'm done.
Yep. So on that note, again, we want to thank you all for tuning in. Our next podcast is going to be December 18th. And guess what? We're going to be talking about how it's really the most wonderful time of the year with Christmas and everything coming up. So we hope you all tune in with us. Thank you for tuning in today.
Sure.
definitely was like a lot of participation. So we really
Loved
appreciate it.
it. Yes.
We prayed really got out of this this evening. This every other Friday. But it's not just for us, it's also for us to, you know, obviously we're telling you our stories because help you to get to a better place than where, you know, than where you are, to help you move forward and help you keep pushing and motivate you, because, you know, we all have our stories and we just decided we'd share ours with y'all. So
For sure.
Yeah. We appreciate.
Thank you, Aaron, for dropping the link to that book as well.
Yes, sir. And on that note, oh, God is so good. I just had to say it one time. Like I just
have
had
a
to say that.
yeah. So you guys have a safe weekend. We love you. We love you. We love you so much for enjoying this. Please add our like page if you have not. Please add our Instagram if you have not. And invite someone the next time you come. Share, watch parties, all that kind of stuff. We want to expand this conversation. So
for sure.
Peace and blessings, y'all.
Not least, if you need a little bit more tips, you can go on our YouTube last video, selfish. You need some help working on your self-love, that to watch. So
I forgot we even did that.
Yeah, we did one. It was a good one. And on that note,
we
so
out.
cold. Yep. Jesus hit him with that stunner like he's stone cold. Then I raised from the tomb into some royalty that's rose gold. We gotta have your foot on the accelerator, going up. We gotta have your foot on the accelerator, going up. We came in with no reservation, came in with no hesitation, came in with no medication, but we left with all the validation in the room. Once I was done, we dropped the mic, then we dip like room.
That was a cameo. It's like, where's Manny at? There.
I'm done.